Allison, welcome. Would
Thank
you
you.
please introduce yourself to folks who are going to be watching this?
Sure. My name's Allison Smith. I live in Bozeman, Montana, and I have known Steve since I was a ninth grader in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He was the priest at my school.
And would you share something of the particular gifts that you have that come into play as you think about living into a time like this?
I'm not sure if they're gifts, but my field is public health, and which is a very fascinating field to be in right now. I've spent a lot of my career in Asia and Africa with populations that have many fewer resources. And I guess the other perspective is I'm a student of Tibetan Buddhism, which right now, I mean, it's always been helpful, but right now it's particularly helpful for me.
Right. So what would you offer as wisdom that you're discerning or that you have right now for people as they're living through this very challenging time of COVID-19?
Mm. Well, on the very practical side, as a public health practitioner, obviously my advice is follow the rules. We will get through this, but it is truly up to us how we get through this. And social distancing and really the shelter in place, it's critical. As a public health person, we knew that this was inevitable. Whether it was going to be in my lifetime or not, obviously we couldn't have known, but yeah, so practically follow the guidance from top epidemiologists and virologists around the world who are framing, or at least are one source of framing for this. There are political framings of this that aren't very inspiring. And then I guess on a more philosophical basis, you know, we're in it. We're in it for as long as this virus wants to continue on. You know, and as a student of Buddhism, you know, this is impermanence. This is it. And our arrogance as a species, thinking that, you know, humans have power over nature, you know, obviously is being very much smacked down and called into question. So, you know, as much as possible, understanding that this is the nature of things, it's impermanence, and that things will never be the same again. But that's the nature of being alive.
So that's very lovely. Is there a question or something that keeps kind of rolling through your mind or your heart as you continue to take each day in? Yeah.
You know, there is, and it's a question that I've had for several years, and I've put this hypothesis out in the world, but it seems really relevant now. And I really think that we may be at a point of evolutionary divergence, you know, and there are these times throughout history where the species has split. And, you know, whether it be hominids and Neanderthals, or, you know, humans versus apes, I have felt for several years that this may be one of those moments in our history. And it's coming to light for me now because with COVID-19, you're seeing two fundamentally different ways of being. And one is fear and people who feel that this is a hoax, and people who are paralyzed by this. And on the other, and that is not just people who are poor, living in poverty. It is a mindset. And then on the other side, you're seeing such examples of grace and community and generosity, kindness. And to me, you know, you would, as humans, you adapt or
Mhm.
you make it. And so I think we are seeing this very fundamental shift of people who very quickly are adapting
Mhm.
in really elegant ways.
Mhm.
And I think that, you know, if there are any researchers in 3 million years, which I don't think there will be, you know, we may really be seeing this divergence. And my hope is that people who are facing this with grace will extend grace who are to people who are living in fear.
Mhm.
Um, and one thing I've really been trying to do on Facebook is trying to encourage people to, you know, when somebody posts, this is a hoax, and, you know, there's so much aggression towards those people.
Mhm.
Um, and trying to help people understand that they're living in fear
Mhm.
and struggling to adapt. And if we can be more generous and help them come along,
Mhm.
that's gonna fundamentally change the course of this exceedingly odd time. Um, so instead of, you know, you're such an idiot, how could you possibly believe that this is a hoax? Just trying to coax people towards, you know, greater acceptance, greater calm, greater sense of community, that we're all in this together.
Mhm.
That's my
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, Allison, it's so great to have time with you as always, and thank you for taking this time and sharing your
absolutely. Thanks for asking.
wisdom.